Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Taco, and today we're back with another video, and we're kind of in a dead spot in the off season. There's like weird mini camps, and we hear weird stuff out of it that we don't really believe. But there's nothing really to do, so might as well do my positional rankings. I'm starting off with quarterbacks, heading down the board. The starters are based off of ESPN's depth chart. I don't care about the team's depth chart because the team's gonna be lying. I care about what the people at ESPN think. And I mean, I don't agree with a lot of their things, but you see there's just a couple of their opinions. It'll be more for other positions. I'm not taking into account if they'll get hurt, but I will take into account, if they had an injury last year. Anyways, with that being said, let's hop right into it. I'm going to start off with number 32, which is Bo Nix. Yeah, he's a rookie. He's a 12th overall pick. Most of the rookies I have lower on the board, I don't know much about them. Even Caleb Williams is a little bit lower on the board. And with the 12th overall pick, he was probably the sixth quarterback in most people's opinions. He was the sixth quarterback taken in the class, but the Broncos, they needed to take a guy. They literally had nobody. What are you going to start, Jared Stidham? I don't think so. So they had to go with him. I mean, I don't love it, but there wasn't a better move. He's not a great quarterback, but he'll have to do. Number 31, taking a huge hit, is Daniel Jones. Yeah, I don't like Daniel Jones. Last year had an abysmal season and then tore his either ACL or Achilles. Something that's not going to help him. I'm very surprised they didn't at least try to bring in any competition for him. Drew Lock is in competition. All right. But Daniel Jones, he's there. He's not good. But he's just gonna have to do enough for that team, I guess. He sucks, is the point. Number 30 is gonna in fact be Drake May. Drake May is not a bad quarterback. I mean, he's an upside quarterback. He's a rookie. He was the third pick. I have him third out the first three picks. He's gonna be all right. He's gonna struggle a little bit. Because that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna start off struggling. But hey, I think that he's gonna find his groove. But overall, coming up this season, Drake May, I mean, he's not a guy to have a ton of hope in, but that's not what you're expecting in your rookie year. Number 29 is going to be Jaden Daniels. Look, it's about the same thing as Drake May, except I had him as a little bit better of a player, so he's going to be a little bit higher. He's going into what I would consider a better situation in Washington. They actually had a competent offense the last couple of years, unlike the Patriots have. But Jaden Daniels, he's a rookie. He's gonna try to come in. He's gonna try to flourish. I hope he does, because we need some competition from the Commanders in our division. Number 28 is actually gonna be Will Levis. I am lower on Will Levis than I'm guessing most people are. Do I think that he could have a season that's pretty good? They got a great supporting cast around him. Have two great running backs, three good receivers. I think that they can go somewhere with Will Levis. He will have to prove a lot. He didn't do a ton after that 4-touchdown game. I'm as the lowest as the guys who have played a snap. But yeah, I hope the best for him, I guess. Number 27 is going to be Bryce Young of the Panthers. Look, he was the first overall pick last year. He didn't have a good year. That's the easiest way to put it. Yes, the supporting cast around him was awful. Yes, he might have looked a little bit better on film than the statistics say. Whatever. He wasn't good because it was an abysmal rookie season the way that the statistics said. I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt. Think that he's going to have a bit of a bounce back year. Canales seems like a good coach for him. But yeah, 27 is just where I got to put him. Number 26 I have is Sam Darnold. I have him starting over J.J. McCarthy. I think that Sam Darnold is actually a fine player. There hasn't been a situation where Sam Darnold loses a team games. A team loses games because around them, well, they're awful. He's never had a good shot. He might flourish with a good shot. I mean, in San Francisco, when he got in, he wasn't bad. I think that with Sam Darnold, you don't know exactly what you're going to get, but I do think that you are going to get some consistent play from him. That's why I have him over some of these other more, I guess, boomer busty guys. Number 25 will be Caleb Williams. Look, first overall pick, ton of hype, blah, blah, blah. I know, paints his nails, I don't care. Blah, blah, blah. But he's going into a situation. It's going to be a great situation for him, but he still is a young, developing rookie QB. He's got to learn how to make plays in structure more than out of structure, and he's got to. I don't know. He's just got to adjust to the NFL. He's not going to come in, start throwing dimes, and if he does, hey, I'm wrong. I'm mostly wrong about these. My one time, my number 32 was Geno Smith, and he won comeback player. Look, sometimes I'm wrong, but I don't think I'll be wrong because Caleb Williams, he's all right. All right, coming in as a rookie, he has a lot of stuff to prove. Number 24 I have is Gardner Minshew for the Raiders. Look, Gardner Minshew had a good season last year. He's always had good seasons. There's never an issue with Gardner Minshew like the way that there was never an issue with Sam Darnold, just to a bit better of a scale as Gardner Minshew. He's coming into a situation, they're giving him the keys in Las Vegas, and I think that he'll be able to show up this year. That's why, I have him down at 24 because there are a lot of guys that I have showing up this year, but I think that he will be one of them to produce good enough. 23 I have is Anthony Richardson. Now, Anthony Richardson may be one of the more unproven, actually, definitely one of the most unproven guys on this list, but from the 3-4 games that we saw last year, he played amazing. There's nothing telling me the franchise, just the franchise has full faith in him. They're circling in on him. They're going to be fine with him as their starter. And I think that he'll do good in his second year. I think that he'll make a little bit of a leap. At number 22, you have Derek Carr. Look, Derek Carr is average. Last year, he was pretty average. That's about what you're going to get from Derek Carr, is averageness. People know this. People are fine with it. He's going to be a good enough quarterback, or if he had a good team around him, they could go to the playoffs. They could win some games. He's not a liability, again. But, he's not amazing. He's not as good as the 21 guys at him. That's the simple way to say it. Number 21 is going to be Geno Smith. Geno Smith, he didn't have the season last year that he had the year before, but he still had a good season. This isn't Jets Geno Smith that we're talking about. This is still a team that has faith in him. Great supporting cast, great system around him. I believe a new system around him. And I think that they are going to produce with Geno in at quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He'll get the job done, definitely. Number 20 is Deshaun Watson. Look, Deshaun Watson really stepped it up. I felt like he was finally getting into his groove. The game against the Ravens was great. He got into his groove quite a bit. And then the injuries happened. He hasn't had a full season in a long time. I hope that he does. I don't really hope that he does. But, stuff happens. That's why he's at number 20. There's 19 guys that are better than him still. Number 19 is going to be Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield had an amazing year last year. Nobody is doubting that. Well, the issue with Baker Mayfield is he going to keep it up? Is Canales that good that he, out of nowhere, just became the head coach of the Panthers? But Mayfield, he had a great year. Hopefully he can keep it going. He, again, has never exactly been a liability. But he really saw a great improvement last year. Hope he keeps going for Baker. Number 18, I have Russell Wilson up here. Now, a ton of people don't really love Russell Wilson as their quarterback. I understand it. From the media's perspective, hasn't had a great last 2 years. He had 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Now, yes, it looked easy on the film, and they were running the same concepts to both sides, and there was no trust in him, and he just made these quick little dump off. Whatever. He had 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, and that's just what the Steelers needed to do. They're going to rely on the run game, unlike the way that Denver tried to rely on the pass game, and it's going to work just fine for the Steelers. It's a great fit for Russ, and he's a great player still. Number 17, I have Kyler Murray. A ton of people are really high on Kyler Murray. I don't think that he was that insane coming back from that injury. Yes, he was good. Yes, he was better than when Josh Dobbs was starting in there. When Arizona was going through some very dark times, but he's still not amazing. He's not turning around a franchise. And I mean, the top 16 really is just where this list gets really good. But Kyler, he's fine. I've trusted him enough to put him as the starting quarterback. Number 16 is going to be Brock Purdy. I know I have him lower than what you want, you stupid Niners fans. It's not our fault we hurt him in the NFC Championship. Get better. But Brock Purdy, yes, he has an amazing supporting cast around him, but it still is a job to get the ball to your supporting cast. Let's not act like Tom Brady, kind of in the gap years of the Super Bowl. This wasn't exactly what he was doing. Was just being a game manager and throwing it to these great guys. But I mean, he was a little bit better than that. Brock Purdy, though, he still is a fine quarterback. He still is a great quarterback to have behind there. Yeah, number 15 is Trevor Lawrence. He didn't have a great year last year compared to, especially in 2022 when he exceeded expectations, got that team to the playoffs. Didn't happen this year with a lot of expectations. He still is a good quarterback, still trust him to lead the franchise. It's just, I mean, it's not where you wanted it to be with Trevor Lawrence. Number 14 is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Look, he's a 40-year-old coming off of an Achilles injury with a ton of good quarterbacks in this league. It's about the highest that I can put him. But he still is freaking good, and he's Aaron Rodgers. What is he going to do? Move around? Now, he has had some mobileness, but that's not the part of his game. And if this whole Achilles surgery is really real, this whole thing, then it's never going to be an issue. Rodgers is still a great quarterback. He lifts everybody up around him. He's going to be good. 13 is going to be Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk Cousins through the first 8 games, I mean, he was an MVP contender. He had a ton of yards, a ton of touchdowns. He was looking like a really good quarterback. And Kirk Cousins has always been a really good quarterback, a really good stat putting up quarterback. I feel like I didn't even say this, but the criteria is just I have him on the team who gets the most wins. Kirk Cousins will lead your team to wins. Kirk Cousins is cool, and that's what I need from him. Number 12 is Tua. Tua was 11 last year and led the league in passing. I can't drop him that much. There were a lot of quarterbacks that had good years last year, but still, Tua, he's a good quarterback. Yes, there's a good supporting cast. Yes, there's a good coach around him. But Tua, massively overhated. Probably because he's left-handed. It's not really, cool to see a left-handed quarterback throw. It's that simple. 7 is going to be Dak Prescott. Look, there are a lot of good quarterbacks. I say that about every time, but there are. But Dak, this is about the highest I could put him. I know I had him low last year. He had a good year. He had a great year. He more carried the team on his back to the position that they were compared to the last 2 years, which were more about the people around him. But Dak had a good season. Dak, I think that'll keep it up. I like Dak. And I hate the Cowboys, but I'm fine with him as a human being. I hope that he does good. Not the team, though. Number 10 is going to be Matthew Stafford. Look, Matthew Stafford, the first half of last year, wasn't all that. He wasn't good. Second half came in balled out. Straight good performances, one after another. He's a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. That's why I have him up here this high. He can elevate a team very well. Number 9, I'm going to again be very high on the Jared Goff train. If you watched the rankings last year, he was either 8 or 9. He was something a little bit crazy, but he was second in the league in passing, and he led the Lions far. He's a good player. He's a great player, and he's a leader, and he's a good player, and he's a good player. There's not a ton of strengths about Jared Goff. There just isn't any weaknesses. He just gets the job done perfectly. Number 8 is going to be Justin Herbert. I'm lower on Justin Herbert than most people are. I don't think that Justin Herbert had a great year last year. He didn't have a great year last year. Yes, he didn't have Mike Williams. Wah. Guess what he now has? Quentin Johnston, Lad McConkey, and Josh Palmer. He's going to have to deal with it. He's fine. He's all right. He's all right. Yeah. But he's good. That's why I have him in number 8. But he's all right for the good tier. You know what I mean? Number 7 is going to be Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts didn't have a great year last year, kind of the same as Justin Herbert, except he had a lot of issues around him. Obviously, people hopefully know that. I definitely know that watching him. But look, I think that he's gonna rebound. I think that he's gonna have a good year again. My red light mode just turned off, so if I look really weird, I'm sorry about that. But Jalen Hurts, he's a good player. He'll lead the Eagles far enough. Number 6 is gonna be Jordan Love. Jordan Love had an amazing year last year. I judge the back half of seasons a lot more than I do the first half. In the back half, he was efficient. It seemed like he just learned so much from the first half, and I mean that's what happens when Aaron Rodgers is in front of you. He's not teaching you anything. But Jordan Love, he was able to get that information in, get it quickly, and really started firing on all cylinders. Had a great second half of the year. Number 5, possibly extremely high, is C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud had an amazing year last year. To have 23 touchdowns and 5 interceptions as a rookie, to put up these. I know that it was Jordan Love's first year starting, but he was in an NFL idea atmosphere for 3 years. CJ Stroud just came in there and balled out. He processed defenses amazingly. He threw short, long, medium, left, middle, right, wherever you needed to go. He was there and he was helping that team win and really help that team just turn their decade around pretty much. Number 4 is going to be Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. He only played about 10 games last year. Not an amazing player in those 10 games. Now, he picked it up. He started the year off pretty iffy, but he picked it up. He's still going to be a good player. He still is Joe Burrow. He still is a very good piece. I just couldn't have him at the 2-3, but at the 4, very respectable, very amazing quarterback, obviously. 3 is going to be Lamar Jackson. Had a weak MVP season last year, but he still was the MVP, and he still played pretty well. He still is a great player. He still is a great leader, elevator, player, and player again. He does stuff amazing. Everybody knows he can run the ball, but he can pass the ball really well. He started to be able to pass the ball really well. Todd Monken has given him that ability, and yeah, he's amazing. He's not 1 or 2, but he's amazing. Number 2 is Josh Allen. I mean, you knew he wasn't going to be number 1, but he was number 2. He has turnover issues, but otherwise, he is a perfect player. I mean, he throws the ball deep, well, far and well. He throws it accurately enough. He gets the job done enough with accuracy. But I mean, he has probably the best arm in the league. I would have it over Mahomes. But Josh Allen, just a great player, great stat pattern, but like a good way stat pattern. He gets a lot of stats, not a stat pattern. On his Patrick Mahomes, I'm tired. I don't have to explain this, but he's kind of good. That's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.